So if you haven't heard, uh, recently DJI released a new package. It's a new drone package, but it's um, it's not for the consumer market. It's part of the enterprise market, which is very separate from the everyday people that purchase the Mavic Minis. It's not made for content creators. So this enterprise division of DJI is tackling more of the first responders and commercial work for more heavy duty environmental operations and missions. I just wanted to emphasize on one of the key parts of the presentation that I feel that it didn't really get that much of a attention. Well, at least I don't think it did. But for me, I think it's probably it was the most important part of the presentation, alongside the amazing redesign of the M30, the Matrice, um, which was the docking station. So if you don't know what the docking station is that they just introduced, um, it's it's gonna change every. It's literally gonna change the way, and I wouldn't be surprised if they slowly bring of another version of a docking station for the content creation market. But I have the presentation here from DJI, just apart from the docking station, and let's just watch it a little bit and kind of understand what the world's about to witness.
What we've got next is going to change work forever. Consider for a moment across the pale blue dot that we call home, all the millions of miles of power lines and oil pipelines, the telecom towers that keep us connected, the solar fields and wind farms that keep us powered, the aging infrastructure and assets spanning across the remote places of the earth that serve as the foundation for society as we know it. If something malfunctions, if something goes wrong, if there's a structural failure or a pipeline leak, we're talking about catastrophic environmental damage, economic damage, and not to mention the dangers that repair and cleanup crews will be exposed to. There's no easy way to make sure that this doesn't happen, to protect these assets that live on the roads less traveled. Until now.
All right, so the guy up here just literally unveiled the new product feature that is, I guess, tied to, in a way, it's a package with the M30. This is the docking station, which will house everything needed for a flight operation, specifically for enterprise level operations. But it has everything, like recharging batteries, backup batteries, fully weatherproofed. And one of the craziest things for me, I think, that I've been thinking about, but I didn't know it was going to be an actual thing. Well, let's just play a little bit more and watch.
Today, we bring you DJI Dock, our first landing and charging station that allows for the realization of fully remote, automatic, programmed flights with the M30. Let me say that again. This is DJI Dock, and with it, and the dock version of the M30, you can have a fully automatic, programmed, repeatable drone flights, even in the harshest, most remote places on Earth. I'm sure your minds are racing at the possibilities.
Okay, so what he's saying That's why he had to repeat it. He's basically saying that this this box here that opened up with the drone inside, the docking station, is going to revolutionize the way we think about flying drones. Because basically what this is, it's like remote piloting, like remote autonomous. You could be anywhere, probably in the world, and have this box, this docking station somewhere else, and you could be connected to it via a connection. It's got to be a really high connection, a fast connection, but you can essentially just connect to this and be able to pilot this drone or monitor the drone anywhere at a distance. Um, that's the idea. I mean, that's what it's basically supposed to do. So I don't have it, so I don't know how good it is. But this is DJI, and I mean, they're not gonna release they're not gonna release something that they feel doesn't work. But essentially, that's what it does. It's basic. I would just say a remote autonomous drone operation where you could be anywhere and be able to monitor all the flights this drone is doing without even touching it, without even piloting it, from the comfort of an office, a mobile station, anywhere.
And don't worry, I promise that we'll show it to you in action very soon. But first, let me tell you a little bit more about the dock and how it works. The first thing we had to prioritize with the dock is make it rugged, durable, and able to withstand the elements. Because what's the point of hands-free drone operations with a dock if you still have to go check on it and fix it when it stops working? For this to be a viable solution, to meet the high standards set by enterprise customers, the dock needs to be consistent, safe, and reliable, even in the harshest, most remote places on Earth. The entire dock is weatherproof and dustproof and is rated to operate in environments with temperatures ranging from -35 to 50 degrees Celsius. And the whole thing is rated IP55. You can see here, night or day, rain or shine, this solution is extremely reliable and consistent. The DJI Dock was built to last and to require minimal care and maintenance, even in harsh, barren environments.
That is huge. Specifically that video they were just showing with it was like flying in a like thunderstorm almost with winds, heavy rains, lightning. So they're basically saying the box and the drone can operate under day and night, rain or shine, -50, -35 Celsius, 50 Celsius, without anybody being there. Self-operated. It opens up, it operates, it comes back down, lands, closes, still operates. The water hasn't disrupted any components. When the drone flies again, it could, after a heavy rain, it will still fly again. So dust proof. I mean, as far as like cleaning, minimal work as far as someone being there and maintaining this product.
Even in miserable weather like this, we want you to think of the dock as a set it and leave it kind of solution. And speaking of set it and leave it, give me a second.
Set it and forget it.
This is the dock's integrated weather station that knows when conditions aren't safe for the M30 to fly. I have to set it here. I had to pull it out just so I could hide the dock properly.
By the way, another incredible feature, so you know the weather, and it has a camera, a live stream, like a live camera, so you could see the dock and the drone in real time with weather analysis.
This is our first dock, We're still learning, but we've tried to think of everything you could need. On top of the weather station is an ultra-wide security camera that you can live stream with Flight Hub 2. If you're installing your dock in a remote place with poor signal, the dock can have 4G.
So there you go. The docking station has a 4G connectivity. It's got a wide-angle security camera, and it's O3 enterprise transmission.
Normally, you should be fine though, thanks to the dock's 4 antennas and OcuSync 3 Enterprise that communicate with the drone and the M30. If you want to run missions that require precision to the centimeter level, we gave the dock RTK.
So as long, this is one of the things, as long as you have a very strong connection wherever you are, wherever you place the dock, you have full connection as well. So signal between your station, the docking station, is a strong, full signal. That is the goal here, because then once you are at that point, the drone is just relying on the docking station's connection, the O3 transmission, to fly from that point out into wherever it is. But for you, you just have to have a good connection to the docking station. And that becomes remote piloting and broadcasting.
And if something goes wrong, if there's an emergency power outage,
Now, don't forget, if there's a disconnection or anything like this, the drone is still autonomous. So it's still connecting to the docking station. If you lose signal or anything like this, the drone is smart enough to understand that because you're disconnected, it's still connected to the docking station if it needs to come back and land.
for example, the dock has an internal backup battery that can keep the dock powered and communicating with the M30 long enough for it to land safely. We've packed the dock with features, but we still managed to keep it small. Well, relatively small at least. It has a less than 1 square meter footprint and weighs only 90 kilograms. You can transport it on the back of your pickup or even bring it in the elevator, for example, if you want to set it up on the roof. Installation is really easy. You just need 4 bolts, 1 for each of the corners, and you need a power source, an Ethernet connection, and you need 15 minutes to configure it with the Enterprise remote controller. And from wherever you do decide to install it, the M30 can take off and conduct automatic missions that you program anywhere within a 7-kilometer radius from the dock. So this 19.
So there you go. You can see, no matter where you are, you could be anywhere in the world. As long as you have a connection to the dock at all times, even if it cuts and then you come back, you are still the kind of like control tower. Let's say you have multiple docks stationed around the world, or within your, city or town. All you need is a good connection to the dock. The dock gets all the tasks that you program via your mobile station from the software, and then sends it out to the docking station. That picks it up. The drone now has all these operations ready to go, programmed, and that's revolutionary. That's changing everything, man.
19 square kilometer oil field is home to over 1,100 wells, and it's one of our test sites when developing the dock. It's a remote place, and keeping track of all the equipment and infrastructure is a truly daunting task. 3 docks and 3 M30s would be enough to provide daily coverage and inspections for the entire site. So, after the M30 finishes its mission, how does charging work? When the M30 lands,
this is super important.
It's centered as the overhead doors close, and then the dock can fast charge.
Let me go back.
Wells, and it's one of our test sites when developing the dock. It's a remote place, and keeping track of all the equipment and infrastructure is a truly daunting task. 3 docks and 3 M30s would be enough to provide daily coverage and inspections for the entire site. So, after the M30 finishes its mission, how does charging work? When the M30 lands, it's centered as the overhead doors close, and then the dock can fast charge it back to 90% in just 25 minutes.
90% full, 90% charged in 20 minutes.
So why would you need rapid turnaround times like this? We expect users will be assigning a lot of work to their drones.
That is very true. If this is what they're trying to do, I could see that happening.
And their docks. So fast charging is essential. It'll make a huge difference, especially in places where there's only so many hours of daylight in a day. To achieve,
I couldn't, like, I'm not too much into the enterprise thing yet, but from a constant user pilot of the drones that I have and all the batteries that I have, battery charging is crucial to all my operations. I am constantly charging. If I had a dock where I could just send it to for a quick charge and not have it to, I don't have to bring it back to where I am, I can set up hubs around the wherever I'm flying. Things start to get really interesting.
rapid recharge times like this, we had to get creative. So after a mission, drone batteries, they tend to be really hot, and so you need to cool them down to optimal temperatures for optimal charge.
Very true. When you do a flight, you drain the battery, comes back, you take out the battery, it's super hot. You can't just plug it and start charging it again. You got to get a new battery. That is cool because the battery, the smart battery won't let you, the intelligent battery won't let you charge it again until it is cooled down to a certain level of temperature. So it looks like, let me just go back here. Once the drone docks back down and starts recharging again at the dock, there's a ventilation system that cools the batteries down, which is absolutely amazing.
And their docks. So fast charging is essential. It'll make a huge difference, especially in places where there's only so many hours of daylight in a day. To achieve rapid recharge times like this, we had to get creative. So after a mission, drone batteries, they tend to be really hot, and so you need to cool them down to optimal temperatures for optimal charging. So we gave the dock air conditioning and fans, so cold air can be blown through the batteries right across its heatsink. Even on hot days, you're still able to have rapid turnarounds. Charging protocols and everything else, from mission planning to and scheduling.
So this thing right here, this is the dock management DJI Flight Hub 2, which is where you control the charging protocols, the mission plannings, the flight plan management, and the media management. This is the remote. This is kind of like another remote controller, but in a virtual remote environment through your laptop, you know, iPad.
To live monitoring of flight progress, to management of videos and photos, it all can be managed within Flight Hub 2.
Essentially, this is like the virtual pilot. Kind of like if you're there flying the drone, this would be the version where it's more remote, remote piloting from anywhere connected to the docking station.
And for users and partners who have their own requirements for customizations or who have existing systems that they'd rather just plug the dock and the M30 into, we're offering Cloud API, which opens up core dock and M30 functionality to developers and system integrators. So you can set up your own private servers that work with the dock and the M30. Okay, so enough with specs and features. You want to see the dock in action.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So without further ado, Flight Hub's sending the launch commands right now.
By the way, this is all autonomous, guys. This is they are not, no one's flying this drone like manually at the event. This is all this is all programmed. So it was pre-programmed. The drone got the signal, got the operation tasks, and now it's executing all via the remote pilot. As you can see, the camera went down. So it did that to analyze the landing, all autonomous. I would have loved if they had a top-down camera of the landing right there, so you could see exactly where it goes on top of the dock. And you can see there's something. I just noticed that there was like these little things on the landing area where it was kind of coming in like this. So it looks like it might be like a locking mechanism on top of that to hold the drone in place while it's charging the battery.
And there you have it. Building a reliable dock solution is really difficult, and we're still learning. And we've been so lucky to have partners and select end users who are currently testing their operations with the dock.
Anyways, just wanted to show you that. I think it's it was one of the craziest things I've seen in at the event from the M30, and just wanted to highlight that, and because I feel like not a lot of people understand or understood what that was all about. So it's basically the docking station is a remote piloting system. The pilot does not have to be anywhere near the drone to operate it, control it, charge it. All programmed via a remote location. Basically, these are areas perhaps that you can't. How would I say? I mean, you can always send the drone out somewhere, but instead of coming back to you, you can bring the docking station to more of a remote place. Let's say, let's just an example, a helicopter, and I guess you would say, why use a helicopter if you have the drone already? But let's say the helicopter was the only craft that can pick this dock up, right, and put it in a location where no one can really get to. You can't drive to it. You can't walk to it. And the docking station gets placed in that location. Now it's on. It's fired up. You are in like some remote location near it, let's say, but like a few 100 miles away, and you have good signal or perfect signal at the site. You can program everything on that drone to do whatever you want. You can have 5 of these positioned all over the place. You can also bring these more to local areas where you could just deliver them, have them placed in a certain location, and then you can operate all these hubs, all these drones, all these docking stations in the comfort of one location where you are, and be a remote pilot broadcasting tasks and operations all over the place without you being there. You can literally consolidate 10 drones and operate them in the comfort of wherever you are. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Pretty crazy.